Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
What up?
And we have Justin Shinkle, man. How you doing?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. I'm gonna give it to you right here. You know, if you want to just give us a quick, what you do for a living and how you train, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I am a father of two, full-time athletic trainer at a high school, and I'm also currently working on a PhD in health science with a concentration athletic training. And I pretty much just train in my garage. I've spent a lot of time the last few months getting it up to speed. So
that's really cool, man. And how long have you been training in your garage? Just like last 3 months, 6 months? How many months would you say?
Off and on for probably about 4 years. I'll go in spells where I'm pretty much all garage, and then I'll get bored of working out with myself and decide to go mingle with the bros at the gym for a little while and get sick of them and then go back to the garage.
That's awesome. And so you said you've been working on your setup. What do you have in your garage right now?
I've got a squat rack with barbell, set of dumbbells, treadmill, and then I recently purchased an assault bike and then some light kettlebells and stuff. So fairly minimal, but it's growing all the time.
Things change when the assault bikes come into it. You know, it's kind of casual and all fun and games until that comes in.
Yeah, it's that took the sadistic nature of my training up a notch for sure. That thing's brutal.
Yeah, there's no hiding from it, not at all. Now, where are you located, just so we can get an idea on like weather and what you're dealing with as an athlete?
Yeah, so I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. So East Tennessee, warm enough to be considered part of the South, but still cold enough to have the seasons also.
That's the more mountainy area, right?
Yeah, so right in the kind of on the northern edge of the Smoky Mountains, and then we're surrounded on the top by, I always forget the ones that are to the north. I haven't lived here long enough to. Did I lose you guys?
No, we're still good. I just cut video.
Okay. Yeah, so we're kind of right in the middle of the Tennessee River Valley.
And you said so you're getting all the seasons. Is snow on the ground for any portion of the winter?
No, it primarily is just rainy. Every now and then we'll get a storm come through and drop a couple inches of snow. In a wild scenario, we'll get up to 6, but that was few and far between. We didn't really have anything this winter.
Okay, and what was the big reason behind you starting your garage gym?
I was actually working in a coal mine at that time and needed a facility to work while I was to work out while I was on shift, and so that kind of forced me to buy a squat rack, and then it kind of escalated from there, and I really fell in love with the soul like just being alone, training in the garage, just kind of getting in tune with yourself.
I'm going to have to hear a little bit more about this coal miner story.
Yeah.
So like, because you're working on your PhD right now, you were a coal miner. I just want to, maybe let's talk about being a coal miner and then talk about the career transition. I would love to hear about that.
Yeah. So I went to school to be an athletic trainer. And I've been a certified athletic trainer for almost 11 years. And I kind of got fed up with the profession in 2014 and moved back to Wyoming and went to school went to work in an open pit coal mine for about 3 years. it was the money was great, and that was about it. It wasn't a whole lot of fun. The hours weren't great. It was about a 90-mile commute to where the mine was in Wyoming, and we'd leave the house at 4 o'clock and we'd get back at 8:30. Didn't matter day or night, and 28-day rotation, so it was really short turnovers on the days to nights, and then you kind of worked. You lived to get to your 7 off, and when you got to that 7 off, you were almost human again by the end of the 7, and then you got to start all over again.
Dude,
that sounds rough.
That has probably given you some huge perspective, I would guess.
Yeah, it definitely didn't take me very long to figure out that athletic training is where I'm supposed to be. Kind of working to help mentor and impact the young athletes pursuing their dreams and keeping them healthy and getting them back on the field when they get tore up.
That's awesome. Now, what are some of your goals right now?
So about little over a year ago, I started playing a sport called hurling. It's the national sport of Ireland. And pretty much all my training goals revolve around getting better at that right now.
So what is this sport? Why have I never heard of it?
I think I know what it is, but is that the one with the big scoops and the ball in it?
Yeah, so it kind of looks like a scoop, but it's actually a flat bat looking thing with kind of a bigger end. And it's flat. So it plays a lot like soccer in the way that the game is played. It's a lot faster, but you lift the ball, which is called a schlitter. You lift it up off the ground with the hurley, and then you hit it into a goal or through what look like American uprights, like American football uprights. If you hit it into the goal, it's worth 3 points. If you hit it over, it's 1 point. It's primarily full contact. You wear nothing but a helmet, and you just throw the ball in and have at it until it's over. Essentially,
I just looked up pictures, and it looks like a cross between field hockey and lacrosse, and it does look intense. The second picture is somebody getting smacked in the face.
Yes. Fortunately, I haven't got hit in the face yet. I tend to be more of my ball striking ability is limited. But I tend to be one of the bigger players, so I'm kind of more of the enforcer for our local club here.
Man, so I play lacrosse, and I've always thought about hockey, but I can't ice skate for crap. So I might need to pick up hurling now. It seems
it's a very, very rapidly growing sport. There's clubs all over the Southeast, and I think there's over 100 clubs in the United States now.
Nice.
That's really cool. I'm going to go check it out and learn more about it because it sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick skill acquisition, and you can become proficient in just a matter of weeks. And it's a great social outing. It's a good group of guys that we play with here in Knoxville, and we have a lot of fun.
Now, I want to ask you, just because of the nature of when we're recording this, it is Fit Week at the time of recording this. How are you enjoying Fit Week?
I've had a good couple days to start. From a strength standpoint, our weather's been not great, so I haven't done any of the running yet. But I had a 30-pound PR on my back squat last night, and I think it was a 15-pound PR on my strict press.
That's huge. On a strict press, that's huge.
I was stoked. I had a pretty rough day yesterday, so we've kind of moved into a new job role, screening patients that are coming into the orthopedic clinic. And it was a pretty stressful day, to say the least. And I really had no expectations going into the garage last night when I got home. I primarily train in the mornings, so I was already kind of out of my element going in yesterday evening. And man, it felt good. And I went for it, and it worked out. I think I ended up with a 435 on my back squat, up from 415. And then 205, I believe, or 215. I'd have to look and see what I put in on the strict press, which is a movement that I've only picked up since I started really working with you guys. I'd always kind of avoided shoulder stuff. It's not my strength, so I didn't like to do it.
It seems like it's your strength. Very rarely do I hear of anyone going over 200 pounds on a strict press. That's really impressive.
It felt good, and then I backed it up a little bit this morning with the push jerk. I didn't really have a standard to push to, but I ended up at 275, and I had zero expectations going into it, and it was one of those things, man. I was just able to keep putting weight on the bar, and I got a big smile at the end of it, to say the least.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on your progress there and the work you put in. And so what were you doing before you were a Garage Gym Athlete? You said you didn't do a lot of pressing or whatever. So what was your training like before Garage Gym Athlete?
It really kind of was, it fluctuated a lot. I always like to tell myself that I could do my own programming, and then I ended up cutting corners, and I'd go in and I'd do, bodybuilding style training for a couple of weeks and get bored. And then I'd move to a powerlifting type training. And I just really avoided shoulder work. I just thought, it's shoulder day. I don't really want to do it. And then kind of moving into your guys where it was more structured, and that's ultimately what ended up making me kind of move into a training program. And it's held me more accountable, and I've really seen my numbers and my strength go up in my upper body since joining, which has been fantastic.
That's great, man. And how do you like training in your garage? I know you said you like to occasionally mix it up with the bros at a Globo gym, but you're maybe a little bit more forced into the garage now, especially with all the stuff that's going on. So how are you enjoying it?
Yeah, well, it's looking like a pretty good investment now for sure. I really have kind of sunk into the training. I really enjoy going in there and training. Even with it being kind of by yourself and trying to find ways to push yourself, it's a lot harder to reach for that last little bit in the tank. But I think ultimately it's more rewarding if you can find a way to push yourself. That's huge in life and in the gym. To be able to reach down and get that last little bit out of yourself.
Now, do you feel like you have any like big struggles or challenges training in your garage?
Oh yeah, every day. The number one to get yourself out there, that's never easy. It was always kind of like one of those things. Okay, I can get in the car and go to the gym and find some motivation along the way, and be ready to train. Just to save face when you walk through the door of a gym. You don't really have that at the garage. You have to self motivate. You have to get in there. You have to wait for the gym to warm up a little bit because it's not comfortable. There's I can sit here and I can do some riding instead. And I find that it's a lot easier to make excuses for yourself. But at the same time, I think that also it ultimately ends up making it more rewarding when you do go in and have a hard session, and you just got to walk back into the house and die on the inside.
I like that mentality, and you're right. There is a little bit more of like a sunk time cost. Like I never really thought of it that way. Like if you drive to the gym and whatever, like say it's 20 minutes away, you're not going to turn around and be like, you know what, screw this, I'm going home, because you're already 20 minutes out. I've never seen that pro to going to the gym, but I see that. And yeah, when you have a 6-step walk to your garage, you could easily abandon a training session if you wanted to, and just be back at home.
Yeah. You can hit your pre-workout on the way to the gym and kind of find that false sense of security or that false sense of energy by the time you get to the gym. And you don't really have that same luxury within a garage gym. You can still take your pre-workout and get amped up, but it just doesn't feel the same. The public persona, like trying to maintain like, hey, I can come in and hang with you guys no matter what. You don't really have that. It's just, you got to go hang with yourself. And sometimes that can be a challenge.
It can kind of be the same with like intensity too with workouts. Like if it's kind of hard to go at times super intense by yourself, but if you're in like a public setting, it's like, okay, I need to really get this, or not necessarily to like impress anybody, but you're in that environment, you're just in that mentality, versus at home, you're just, well, it's just me here. I'm just doing things, going through the motions.
Yeah, just hit a 30-pound PR, high five yourself when you're done.
Yeah.
Hey, we get to see it in the group, so we're excited about it.
I did post it last night. I've kind of found that I'm starting to move more into like the social aspect of the community, and I have a lot of fun. It's been great since I've joined the training or the group, the garage gym group. It's been great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you posting. I know like some people, there are a lot of people who don't, a lot of people who don't. I mean, an overwhelming people who do too, but it's just so motivating. I'm like so fired up, like so motivated it's like I'm at an all-time high during every fit week because I just see all these videos coming in and I'm just like, yes, like I'm motivated to go train harder right now too. So I love seeing those videos. It really gets me going.
Yeah, there's some guys in the group last night, some 50 and 60-year-old guys that are in getting it in the gym and posting PRs and stuff. And you wish you could see them and give them a high five in person. So it's always good to reach out and, give them a little motivation, a little high five, even if it's virtual.
Now, what's the hardest workout you've ever done?
Man, I thought about this a lot this week leading up to this. And I used to take some high school kids kind of in the off season. I'd open the weight room at the high school, and we'd go in and kind of show them that the old man could still hang. And we stumbled onto sevens, one of I think it's like one of the 10 hardest CrossFit workouts that they came out with at the time. And I was like, hey guys, let's try this one day. And of course we went full send mode, and I think every single one of us were beat and battered as we left the gym that day.
And that's like the one where it's like 7 rounds of 7 reps of 7 different exercises, or is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's handstand push-ups, knees to elbow, kettlebell swings, burpees, deadlifts, and thrusters, I believe.
Yeah, that one, I think I have done that one before. That one is a very tough, like it starts out okay, like really maybe just like the first 1 or 2. And then you're like, really? 7 rounds? Like, yeah, that one gets brutal really fast.
Yeah, about round 3 or 4, everywhere is just smoked. You're like, man, I got to do this 4 more times. It was a lot of fun though. The camaraderie that's built through workouts like that with people is huge. Those kids have gone on and graduated and moved on, and every now and then we'll still text and like, hey guy, you remember when we did the sevens over Christmas break that time? Like, we need to do that again.
So what, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
This is another thing that I struggle with. I've kind of been all over the map. Recently, I've really tried to start a meditation practice, and I think that that's really helped me with my mental toughness, more from a standpoint of I can recognize the excuses that I'm giving myself, kind of the negative self-talk of, that downward spiral of like, you don't need to be in here anyway. Like you don't need to train today. And meditation has allowed me to kind of to calm the monkey mind, as they say, and recognize that downward spiral. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's works all the time, but it's been a tool that's definitely helped to increase my mental toughness.
I feel like if you can do 28 days in a coal mine, that's probably more mentally tough than most.
It wasn't hard work. It was driving a great big truck, like a 2-story house, but it was mind numbing. There was just no stimulation. I had a lot of time to think during that time, which is probably a pro and a con.
Yeah, I can see that going both ways with me, like, or either way. Like sometimes I'd be like, yeah, I got a lot of thinking done. And then other days I'd be like, oh man, this is rough. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Being in a negative spot, like in a place you didn't necessarily want to be. There was times I got into a Chris Moore's book, the Barbell Buddha at that time. I think it was Get Change was the first one I started reading. And I'd read like 4 or 5 pages of it and realize like, no, I can't read this. It would just make me like, it would just take me such negative thought spiral because I was unhappy where I was at. And so I'd read like 4 pages and then have to step away from it for like a week and then come back to it, all revolving around just trying to improve yourself, and being stuck or feeling stuck.
Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It's got to be the barbell. It's so versatile. You can do everything with it.
I love it. Joe, you got anything?
Yeah. So if you could add something to your gym, now that you have your assault bike, what would it be?
The thing I'm looking at the most now is a rower. I think that's the next big purchase I'm going to get.
It's always number
And
one.
then, yeah, I find that I only have one kettlebell really, and I'd really like to kind of expand the kettlebell arsenal a little bit, get some heavier stuff. There's nothing more fun than heavy swings.
Now, with all the garage gym athletes out there listening to this right now, what would your best advice for them be?
Stick with it. It's worth the investment. It's worth the time spent in the garage, getting to know yourself, getting to know your capabilities. It's well worth it in the end. Plus, if you get your garage gym going, the next pandemic you'll be set.
There you go. That's right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
Man, I hope that's not true, but it is really huge having a gym right now during this crisis. But Justin, I appreciate your time, man, and it's been a blast talking to you. Thanks for being a part of the community, posting in Fit Week, and giving us your time today. I really do appreciate it, man.
You bet, man. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come chat with you.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.